This is the larva of the black soldier fly, BSF, that among other many experimented insects came out best in terms of growth rate, nutritional value and multiplication capacity. It is one of the insects that is reared by Nachiyemba Joan, who is a trainee part of INSFEED project. In a wooden mesh structure behind Makerere School of Food Technology, Nutrition and Bioengineering is her money-minting area. She says all that is needed to rear this insect is any decomposing waste and containers for storage. To start off, Joan says she trapped the black soldier flies from the nearby rubbish pit next to her breeding house. These are carefully kept in a cage. In a container, she places food in her case, brewery waste, aligned with small pieces of cardboard, which are used as her laying areas for the soldier fly.
It looks for kind of cracks to hide the eggs. It feels safe for it to hide the young ones.
Key to note is that the fly doesn't feed on the food contained in its hatching nest, since it never eats but only sucks water. But then, why the food?
You want to persuade the fly to come and lay eggs with that kind of assurance that my young ones will have food to feed on.
This, all Joan says, is learned through a behavioral study done during the research. The fly also does need sunlight, though not a lot of it, for the mating process. The fly lays clusters of eggs in between the cardboards. Each cluster contains not less than 500 eggs, although to the human eye, the yellowish clusters look really small.
Here.
Joan says you need to check on whether the fly laid eggs at least 2 to 3 times a week to avoid harvesting eggs that are dried up, which will affect harvests. The boards containing the egg clusters are then transferred to waste in another container, placed inverted from the side they are laid.
Now, for example, like this container, we shall put between 5 to 6 is enough.
After about 1.5 weeks, Joan checks on the hatchability of her eggs. At this time, if the eggs hatched well, you will need to add more food or waste for the larva feeds at a high rate. It is also a chance to separate the hatched larva if it is crowded in one container. But we realize the larva is uneven in size.
The difference in days or the difference in just hours has an implication to the rate of growth.
At this point, the anticipated outcome is coming to life. More food is added to the larva at this stage, but however, this is done in a particular way due to the feeding habit of the soldier flies.
They feed from bottom. So when you are adding food, you have to get another empty container. You add your fresh food. Then you get this whole content, exhausted food plus the insects, you pour on the new food.
The larva is left to feed on the added food for another period of about 1.5 weeks, when it will be ready for harvest. The entire process only takes you about 2.5 to 3 weeks to harvest the insects. How would you tell the larvae are ready for harvest?
Size and color. When they are still young or when they are still growing, they are white. But when they grow up or when they are ready to harvest, they are brownish.
For the harvest, a well-laid black polythene material carefully secured beneath a slightly raised off-ground mesh is what Joan uses. She, however, says any harvester can apply as long as the larva will not escape, since it has high mobility. For hygiene purposes, the larva is washed after harvesting before it is set to dry. Water at this time only enhances the larva mobility, and thus, to sterilize them, they are dipped in hot water for a short while. After the larva is dried, it is then processed into fine powder and used as feeds. But through the ordeal, one wonders how the selection criteria of such insects was done.
The insects are safe for humans. They don't sting, they don't irritate, but also they don't carry disease.
And just how economically feasible is this?
In a space of about 5 by 5 meters, we were able to produce over 300 kilos per month, which was sufficient for our experimentation. But we also had a private sector partner who scaled up that to about 5 by 10 meters, and they were able to harvest up to 2 tons per month.
And here comes a business prospect clearly backed by the certification from Uganda National Bureau of Standards. If you are planning to run out of business, that is poultry or fish farming, because of the high protein prices, talk about silverfish or soya bean. This here is a salvation for you, insects for feeds. Mildred Tohaise, NBS, Live at 9.